Okay. So, yes, I think that some of the ways you can talk to students you already hit on, but it's going over to them, approaching them, gently saying, "Hey, is everything going okay? Is there anything I can help you with?" Um, Out of earshot of other kids, quietly. When I've had bad behavior problems that were very distracting, I have tried to get someone in the hallway to speak with me. And while that requires them to get up and leave, then in the hallway, they don't have to perform for other kids and they can actually be more honest, I think, about what's happening and if there really is a problem that you can help them with. So but you hit on everything. You're doing a really good job. It's just little tweaks.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think that that makes a lot more sense to approach a student to and they feel more comfortable to open up and actually discuss a problem if there is one, rather than just saying I'm tired or putting
Yeah.
them down.
Absolutely. And you're again doing such a good job interacting with the students. They're really well behaved and quiet. They're soaking things in. I was wondering, do you have a daily routine in class?
We do. We start the day with a warm up. We usually go through and then review the prior day's exit ticket and then move on to the lesson. And then I check for understanding with the exit ticket again. So,
That's great. That is wonderful. And you even have their names on the exit tickets, which is amazing. What's your usual routine for handing out the exit tickets? And do you feel comfortable with it? Do you like how you do it?
I've been writing their names on them and handing them out individually, but I'm feeling that I could probably save time rather than writing their names on them to have some sort of procedure where I just have hand them to a student and have them, pass them to the right or left.
Mm-hmm.
They can write their names. They are middle school students. So, yeah, I could probably save a good few minutes for myself and for the students if I had a better procedure for handing out papers. They are very helpful. The students are very helpful. So maybe assigning some sort of tasks for them and jobs for them as well. Um, in terms of procedures, as you saw, they are very good as well during lunch. They
Mm-hmm.
all, they knew when to get up, have their lunch, throw out their trash, get back to their seats. So they are pretty organized and self-sufficient. So I think that, that could save time if I had better procedures for handing out papers and doing things like
Yeah, but you have a good group there and you have them well under control. So
that.
kudos
Yeah.
to you for that. That's amazing. Um, One last thing, really, in terms of how the flow of the classroom, where the kids are sitting, how they're interacting, and how it allows you to have group discussions. Um, I noticed the kids were a little gender separated. They weren't necessarily looking at each other. And then at one point, they couldn't really see see the screen that they needed to see. So, are there any things you think about how we could do even more in terms of making it a dynamic, fluid, interactive classroom between the students themselves?
I think maybe instead of having, I mean, the desks are movable, so I think that, and I like having them do group work.
Mm-hmm.
I think also I'd like to start having more discussion. So I
Mm-hmm.
think maybe having maybe like a little semicircle or U shape, maybe around the projector or the screen, um, and not have it so gender separated. Split them up a little bit, and that way maybe I can have them do things like turn to the person to your right or left, or they can
Mm-hmm.
just turn desks so that they can work with a partner. Um, might work well, so that they're more in a confined area and not so much spread out across, but maybe just kind of confined in a little you in front of the projector, so that way, it's easier to kind of keep an eye on all of them and, kind of walk around that little area. And that way I have a chance to be a little bit more dynamic and interactive with them. They can kind of turn and see each other. They can see the screen. They can see me. And that might be a lot more effective than have them just kind of spread out across.
Yeah, I think those are great ideas. But again, I say that because we're looking at things you can improve. But honestly, I don't think there are very many middle school classrooms that are as calm and well behaved as yours. So kudos.
Oh, thanks.
It's really good. Do you have any overall questions for me? We can work on an action plan together. I have some ideas, but we can sit down and look at it together, things we can implement, brainstorm about, experiment with over the next month and assess how it's going. But any items you want to talk about?
Well, I would like to, I want to start integrating more technology with the kids, and as their English is improving, I want to get them more physically engaged in things and get them to that higher level thinking. So, I mean, maybe you and I can sit down and take a look at some of their work and think about, ways. Like I said, I'd like to begin with the flipped classroom and think about some interactive projects and things like that they can do. So, if maybe we can brainstorm some things together and see what works, what doesn't, and go from there. They are good kids, and so I think getting them to that point won't be too bad as far as procedures. It's just kind of coming up with the ideas that will interest them.
For sure. Absolutely. That's great. I'm excited to work with you.
Oh, good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much, Kate.
Yes. Take care. We'll be back in touch soon.
All right. Great. Thanks so much. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.